Welcome back. Yeah, I'm gonna keep that. Welcome back to Home Safety Hotline. It's Sunday in the game. I wonder if there's more than 1 week. We'll see. We have all the options unlocked, so that's cool. We're happy to report that we're most pleased with your labors and are currently making the necessary preps for your impending dissension, assuming you pass the trial. The soil is fertile. Keep up the great work, and thanks for working through the weekend. Sure. Stone. That's what the boss lady had. Her J.O. crystal. That's freaking expensive. Wow. Stone. Too tired to concentrate, or if you just want to look your best without the stress. Oh, the stone makes you look better. Is that why her thing, she looked all like proper? We put you at ease with our patented protective seal. Oh. Wham, glam, thank you, ma'am. I see you, boss. Entry browser. What is this? I can just look at this stuff now whenever I want. That's cool. So, do I get to do more days? Sunday. Home Safety Hotline. That was weird. Thy trial hath begun? Whoa! We are many, we are above, we are followers of our queen. Bees! You're bees! Queen bee and all that? You're bees! Yes. Showcase thy knowledge. I am not living, yet I clatter. I am small, I am weak. I serve my purpose, then I die. What am I?
Please hold.
I don't get to... Ah! Oh, yeah, so the animation, it was like... It takes the form of something around your house and eventually dies. Right? It was like a little doll, remember? Thank you. Forge ahead. You! What is with your face?
I am the beggar. I am the encroacher of the dry. I am the friend of the water in the sky. What am I?
Please hold.
Rain. Rain. Water of the sky. There was a rain something, remember. Rain nymph. Yes. Creepy lady. I saw an employee. Very well. is so strange. Whoa! I am the harbinger of death. I am the bringer of pestilence. I am forever the nuisance. Nuisance. What am I?
Hold.
Harbinger. Oh, like the 4 horsemen. Pestilence. He's black mold. Mold isn't really a nuisance. I mean, it can be, but not like in the literal sense. Oh! Oh, wait. Housefly. The flies. Flies, pestilence. Very common theme. Okay. Never got Warlock Remnant. Kind of bummed. That would have been fun to hear someone talk about that. Is that your nose? I don't know what I'm looking at here. Are you a dog? Is he a dog? Dog nose, mouth, jowls? I seek the domains of those who have too much. Step within and they lose their way. Labyrinth.
Hold.
Labyrinth. There was a labyrinth one, right? Labyrinth? So, labyrinth. I didn't read up on it, but it's like, come on, you know what a labyrinth is. Labyrinth. A labyrinth in your closet. That's actually kind of cool. I should read up on that one for fun. Expand thy mind. Are the roots growing? Dorcha. That was that seeker, deliverer guy, whatever. What are you? What is this? I don't even know what that... I give up on that one. We are companions of the gardens. We compel those who tread to no longer. What are we? Is that a seed?
Please hold.
Gardens. Garden. Is there a garden hob? No. Would be gopher. It's all like the weird stuff. Except for the flies and the bees. So I guess it could be anything. Canyon of the garden. Rose bush. Beet. We compel those who tread to tread no longer. Oh. Seedling. Seedling. Oh. No, it's just different backgrounds. Let go thy stilted soul. Hope I'm getting these right. I know I've got a couple right. Whoa. Oh yeah. So they're animals. You're a mole! Nice mole nose. I am the dancer. I'm the bringer of destruction. I consume the weak and the reckless. I am the forsaken oil and the careless light. Oh,
Please
you're a fire.
hold.
You're a fire, mate. House fire. You're a house fire. You're a fire. Give me an easy one. I mean, give me a hard one. That was too easy. Send. Are you saying something like other dimension or like purgatory or like what's going I don't follow religious things. Is this something different? Is this the animal kingdom? Am I being summoned? Whoa. Ah! Dorja! Nice teeth, Dorja.
Please hold.
I know who you are. You cannot hide from me. Dorja! Okay. Is that it? Is that all you got? Whoa!
Hello, Supervisor Carroll here. We've been watching you closely. For all this time, you have been providing excellent and accurate answers to our callers.
Ooh.
These acts will not go unrewarded, and I'm pleased to report that you have qualified for a promotion. Please stand by while I prepare thy promotion.
Okay. Looking a little different there, Carol. Your pendant's really...
Promotion in progress. Please stand by.
Carol?
Please, be not afraid. Come close. Congratulations! All hail our new junior supervisor!
Regine, promotionen in secula contractus regine, promotionen. Regine, promotionen in secula contractus regine, promotionen. Regine, operire, haederum, cahudete, mahamno desiderio, moamemus dime hamus, regine, operire, haederum, cahudete, mahamno desiderio, moamemus dime hamus, regine, promotionen in secula contractus regine.
I did not expect that ending. That was great. What a fun thing to do for making a game. It clearly had a blast. Good job, game developer. I don't remember your developer name, but great job. That was so fun. Did I beat it? I beat it. Perfect. Oh. Hi, I'm Nick Lives, the creator of Home Safety Hotline. If you're here reading this, it hopefully means you are invested enough in this game to be curious about its development. I am. I love learning how games, movies, books, TV shows, how it's all developed. If so, you've come to the right place. This is a peek into the game's art, development process, and all of the human messiness that entails. I hope you enjoy this thorough and admittedly indulgent look into what we went into to making Home Safety Hotline, the game it is right now. I just want to say first off, great job, development team, all of you. Voice actors, the artists, the designers, the coders, anything else I'm not thinking of. When I was maybe 10 or 12 years old, my grandmother gifted me a Dungeons and Dragons monster manual she picked up from a thrift store. Immediately, I fell in love with this book, despite having no idea what its purpose was. I can relate, man. I love going. So I've played D&D maybe once or twice, and I've not had a full game. But I've always wanted to get into like a group of friends to play that because I love playing games with friends. I love being creative. I love making characters, doing stories. It's just so fun. I can do it all the time. Seriously. Is this the actual book you got? But anyway, I like going to like Barnes and Noble and just looking at all the different things that stuff like this has to offer. So cool. So interesting. It's expensive, but really cool. I would scour its pages constantly, learning everything I could about its many, many imaginative creatures. Since I started developing games, I've very much wanted to make a game about the pure joy I experienced flipping through a bestiary. How many games have I featured, or have featured in-game bestiaries? But rarely is it important to actually read through them in much detail. That's true! Yeah, that's probably why I like this so much. I love reading bestiaries, and my girlfriend got me, like, almost every year she gets me like making of books for games that go into like how they made every character and like the environments and the story that goes along with it. I've got so many different books. I can make a whole video talking about them. Anyway. Whoa. Its eye is glossed over like a pearl, no signs of life even when it was alive. Fast, poison, weak to fire. Finish entry. My first attempt at crafting a game based around my love for bestiaries was a game aptly titled Bestiary, a fantasy game in which you would play as a researcher, testing the dead bodies of monster corpses with various magical implements in an attempt to write an accurate bestiary entry for them, noting properties as you went. This prototype never really made it past the conceptual stage, with these concept art pieces and a crude interactable UI being as far as I took it. I wasn't fully happy with this direction, as it was rather art-heavy, seemed too generic, and felt a little like the activity that inspired it. Whoa. This looks familiar. What is this? New magic. Skip ahead a while, and my wife and I wind up both getting jobs as actors at a local fantasy theme park called Evermore Park. That's so cool! In which she played a playful fairy, and I voiced the puppeteered this big monster called the Fey King. Oh, that's an actual picture. That's cool. The park gave a lot of improvisational freedom to its actors, and my wife and I both wound up really stretching some creative muscles while we were there. Every day we'd been crafting up stories on the spot for guests and improvising scenes with other actors. Eventually, with many of the actors quit or were let go, but the park left a substantial creative void within many of the people who worked there, myself included. As time went on, I sorely missed performing and improvising with other actors, and the constant but rewarding creative challenge of tale weaving and lore crafting on the fly. That must have been so fun. I would love to do that for a career, like just for all my life. 1-800-Bestiary. During the pandemic, as things felt increasingly dire and lonely, I wrote up a new design document entitled 1-800-Bestiary, a game about answering calls for a hotline that prescribes solutions to various kinds of monster infestations. The hope was, with the caller angle, I'd be able to wrangle a bunch of actor friends into this fun and quick project. And maybe we'd all get a chance to recreate some of the creative spark, and I finally get to scratch my childhood bestiary itch. Alas, other priorities came up with other projects as I was developing, so 1-800-Bestiary remained on the back burner for another 3 years. Fun ghoul. Oh, interesting. Little gameplay loop. You're at your desk with all your monster tomes at your disposal. Your answering machine will occasionally play a message for someone describing a problem they're having. A game about working help desk. So kind of like what I did here. Analog horror. At the end of 2022, I released an analog horror called Night Signal, which I have, by the way, that I had been trying to finish for the past few years. And while the game didn't perform great financially, it sure seemed to resonate with those in YouTube comment sections. Because I'm a weak human who craves validation, naturally I read each and every comment as it came in. I see some people say, Night Signal reminded them of something called analog horror. I gave in to curiosity and started going down this analog horror rabbit hole. Once again, I immediately fell in love. Here was this incredibly fascinating subgenre of horror that oozed with creativity in its second-hand approach to storytelling, all while being wrapped in a instantly recognizable and nostalgic aesthetic. Gemini Home Entertainment, in particular, quickly became a favorite, with its more subdued approach in presenting its horrors so matter-of-factly, buried inside informational videos about mundane topics like wildlife and camping. That explains the camping video. The Lunar Archives. During my newfound love affair with analog horror, it occurred to me at some point that the genre would be a perfect match for 1-800-Bestiary's gameplay concept, and right away, I revived the pitch and started on crafting a working prototype. I settled quick on a Windows 95 inspired interface since analog horror was frequently channeling 90s era media formats, and it felt like the only natural digital equivalent. I only crafted this quick proof of concept piece before building the interface in Engine and iterating from there. The new working title was now Lunar Archives, as I tentatively decided the new concept would revolve around aliens. At this time, the idea was that the aliens/monsters could be from anywhere in the world, since that opened the largest number of creative possibilities. I struggled to come up with some interesting monsters in such a broad setting, however, and it didn't really feel scary yet to read about a monster that lives nowhere near me. That explains, like, the majority of the things in the bestiary for this game. Let's see, tube creatures. Corn goblin, cheese goblin, palace predator, mine worm, water collector, space rat, duplicator, tube creature, Grinch, spread cheese. Would that be the actual Grinch? I'd totally play a game like that. Let's see, the tube creature. Living environment prefers a warm climate, particularly tube-shaped homes. This creature is known to make a home inside various tube-like structures, such as pipes, etc. It burrows its way around the tube, blocking any view. It's a scavenger, feeding off anything that falls within the tube. Analog horror meets Papers, Please. Oh, that's another game. Papers, Please. It lives in your home. The bestiary's entry increasingly felt like they needed to be more personal to be scary, so I decided the monsters should all be things that live in your house. Out of curiosity, I asked my wife one day if she knew any folklore. That's what I'm talking about, folklore. Folklore is awesome. About monsters that live in your house. The answer was goblins. Oh, hell yes. Now we're talking. I excitedly grabbed one of my sketchbooks so I could doodle up some weird gobos and the new, more fitting title idea. Love it. I'm assuming he thought the little dudes he made weren't scary enough so they could transform into the big freaks. Michael Myers looking guys. Yep. Gobbling around. As soon as I started reading up on House Goblin folklore, I instantly felt like a kid again. And monster ideas just started flowing out. The first monster design I did was this first Hob photo. It looks really good. I dove right into Photoshop and started painting my interpretation of a little goblin into a photograph of a living room. Trevor Henderson style. I gave him a little troll doll style tufts and some simple slits for eyes. trying to evoke a Guillermo del Toro-esque spirit of grounded, scary, but whimsical. Yeah, definitely Guillermo del Toro. Pan's Labyrinth, or like I was talking about, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Well, not originally Guillermo del Toro, his work. So it's a movie he did, and I'm sure he added his own little spin on it. So, yeah. Also, Shape of Water, great movie. You should check that out if you haven't. Let's see. After drawing my first hob, I got a little carried away in my sketchbook, dreaming up different style or different varieties of these weird little guys, and detailing how they would function. Different hair, false faces would denote different species and bring them closer in line with big-nosed goblin designs everyone is familiar with. So what's the false face? Is this the false face and the eyes pop out? That's awful. Grow fake nose and smile as defense coddle mechanism? Ew! Skin sheds when fully transformed. Oh, that's the guy that causes the cracks. I like the beard. Makes me want to start drawing again. Different species grow different hair patterns, shedding when transformed. Oh yeah, I love that. That's great. Fae for days. It didn't take long for me to go to some deep diving into Wikipedia to discover even more stories of Fae and begin interpreting them under the lens of my newfound design ethos, treating each creature as though it were simply some kind of bizarre animal. Gnome, false face, boggart. Hate that. Hate it. Hate it. Looks kind of cute and derpy here, but in the actual video or photo he made, horrible. His nose. The idea for the inflatable trolls came from a mix between the folklore of trolls and spriggans, where spriggans were said to be small creatures that would grow to enormous size. When I read this, it made me think of pufferfish, and I laughed as I tried to picture what such a creature would look like when deflated. I gave this ability to the trolls because folklore usually portrayed them as too big to enter people's homes, and spriggans felt like they had plenty of distinctive qualities already. Very true. So small. Inflatable troll. That's an idea. That's an idea right there. Oh, ew. The mushrooms eat? Yeah, he didn't mention that in the description, that the mushrooms have mouths. See it now, though. Why do I do this to myself? When drawing monsters, frequently I would find myself having to paint the entire monster in order to get certain poses to feel accurate, before erasing parts of them later to hide them behind some furniture or blurring them into oblivion. And then, of course, they would be crushed into tiny pixels by the end anyway. Less is more, after all, but I still had to draw them more to get there. Leprechaun! Leprechaun! Oh, silly scares for sure. I'm scared by a lot of stupid, silly things. As such, both horror and humor can feel like one and the same sometimes. When I read about the stories of the puka, who pretends to be a horse just to buck people around to scare them for a laugh, I thought, what about indoor modern equivalent might be? And immediately thought of those viral photos of tiny dogs creepily staring at their owners. This is the result, and might be my proudest artistic achievement. I agree. I love this. I wish this was in a movie. That would be awesome. Gnome problem. These gnomes, in particular, may have suffered the most from the reduction in image fidelity when compared to their paintings, so here they are in their higher definition glory. Check them out. Check out them little guys. I love it. Look at his little nose. Hey, can I come in, please? Can I come in? It's cold out here. The Spriggan, by far, may be the hardest creature to spot. Oh, it's right there. All throughout development, I asked playtesters to try and find the Spriggan. No one has found the Spriggan. I could consider this a failure on my part as a designer, but instead, I left it as is in the final product. Make of this what you will. Yeah. Even now, it's still kind of hard to see it, but you know it's like shape and form a little bit. Troll in focus. The troll is another creature that I painted in for far more detail before blurring him to hell and back. So here he is in all his wrinkly, deflated glory. For your viewing pleasure. Hey, I want to keep big again. A boggart. A boggart is maybe the most traditionally spooky creature I've designed for HSH, with his uncanny human-like face and long, slender figure. After reading into boggart lore and finding out that they are sort of the forefathers of our modern-day boogeyman, it seemed only fitting to make the boggart more traditionally ghoulish. Yeah, that's the boggart. Love it. Love to hate it. The trash gnome was inspired by a fan suggestion, described as Oscar the Grouch but worse. Yep. The thought of a muppety creature with a large mouth that lives in trash was too entertaining to pass up. To create the trash gnome, I took a photo of a raccoon. You need one more C there, buddy. And rearrange the eyes. Oh, I see it. In the head to create our scruffy little friend here. This is once again another creature where I created more than would be seen in the end result. Looks good. I can totally see the raccoon. To source photographs for entries, I would browse free-use CCO photography libraries for photos that look like they would be perfect for photoshopping a monster within. But on occasion, I would stumble upon a photograph that was so intriguing on its own, I would be inspired to write an entry for it as is. This photo, for example, by Tasha Komrowski, was immediately captivating and inspired the Mirror Nymph entry on its own. I changed the skin tone up a bit, to up the creep factor slightly, but the photo is otherwise unaltered. Very unique. I like it. It's cute. Making people question ordinary objects in their home is both quite funny and quite creepy. And that's because something these fan-suggested entries, Soap Sprite and Laundry Gnome, exhibit pretty well. Yep. Gross. The design for sprites was intended to be a mix between mosquitoes and the more traditional fairy designs. In general, I am frightened of most flying insects, so I wanted the idea of having a little fairy in your home to give people like me the shivers. Yeah, I definitely see the mosquito. It's his little proboscis. See his arms? He's trying to keep himself in there so he can drink the wine. Love the Warlock. The Warlock remnant is in fact an edited photograph of me wearing a Halloween mask. Oh, really? Looks good. From my childhood, along with a cheap vampire costume I had from past Halloweens. Felt cute. Might delete later. It's good. It's creepy. It's real creepy. Exclusive deals. The concept of coupons came about after I received feedback from demo players asking for more motivation for playing the game well, since playing the game poorly would net you more interesting content in the form of consequence calls. Yeah, I kind of wish I had messed up more and had more consequence calls, but that's okay. I thought the pointless employee discounts for products offered by HSH would make for funny yet lore-heavy content for high-scoring incentives. The based look on product images off of 19 infomercial ads. I can totally see that. The ratty end. Here we go. Originally, the game over ending was much more simple and to the point, with Carol firing the player and wiping their memory before sending them on their way. After the promotion ending was written, it was decided to come up with something a little more whimsical for the game's over for the game over to better suit the world of HSH. Inspired by Roald Dahl's The Witches, he came up with the idea that Carol should turn the player into a mouse instead. Is that what that is? They're a mouse? On the morning of the shoot, I molded these props from air drying clay, painted them with acrylic paint, and then hastily glued some faux craft store fur onto them. David then held these in front of the camera while I filmed the ending on my living room floor. Ugh. So creepy. Originally, the player received their promotion at the end of the shift on Saturday, but it felt a bit too abrupt to go from an otherwise normal workday to the game's fantastical ending in the span of a single call. After a bit of brainstorming, we wound up coming up with a dedicated final trial day where you would be called by cryptic cloaked callers testing your knowledge with riddles, all without having access to your database information. Pace yourself. When the game's ending was written, in order for music to be composed for it early on, this crude animation storyboard, or animatic, was created in order to dictate the pacing and structure of the ending so music could be written over it. The animatic and music would later also serve to guide the pacing of the actual shoot, with David shouting out the appropriate cues as we filmed. Motion. Here's your crown. You're promoted. That's cool. How'd they make that? Their promotion crown was a unique prop I hot glued together out of various craft store materials, including a small wreath, little curvy sticks, and fake mushrooms. That's so cool. I want to learn to make that. Given the player is only getting their first promotion, the materials involved were all more crude and common than the more lavish crown that Faye Carroll wears. In addition to playing the role of Carol, Courtney also designed the final makeup and costumed look for Faye Carroll in the game's ending cutscene, depicting Carol in her truer, more ancient form. In Courtney's own words, "I want to look like a proper swamp witch." You sure do, Carol. Or Courtney. Looks great. Faye Carroll's costume was also pieced together by Courtney herself, utilizing stressed netting, faux moss, and a stressed black skirt, and finally topping it all off with a crown fashioned from faux twigs and leaves. Wow, I wish more games did that. That's fantastic. So thanks again for watching this final episode of Home Safety Hotline. I will see you in the next series. Take care.